Okay, pause yet? Good evening. So, as I have for the last couple of weeks, just to explain to the innocent people who've not been here on a Wednesday night since we opened, Wednesday night is the night that we have our Blackies and Bromley Harriers club night. A lot of the runners go out and even run, and then even more seem to come back and have a drink and a meal. And we always have a little catch up with the news. So if you just bear with us for no more than 10 minutes, less if I don't get interrupted. Steve, don't let your meal go cold. Okay, so first of all, as you know, last weekend we had the National Cross Country Championships up in Chester. It was absolutely great, if somewhat chilly weekend. We had fantastic attendance. What's great about the Nationals is it's one of the events where you get all elements of the club together. So we had under 11s running right the way through to the senior men, and then we had parents, coaches, team managers, past presidents, vice presidents. You got the whole range of the club. It was really good, and all together, and we have a great dinner on the Saturday night after the event. So I'm going to start off first of all by thanking the people who make it happen. I mean, there was a party of over 100 people from the club there. So first of all, we have to thank Linda Poirot, who did all the bookings, arranged the coaches, the hotel and everything. That was fantastic. The parents who acted as chaperones, Ken Barlow, Karen Barlow, Karen Stanley, Steve Starvis, Andy Frankish and Ashley Pearson. We have to thank, is he still here, Mr. Cordell?
I'm still here.
Yes, still here. And Alice and Paul Ostrich, who get down there at some ungodly hour of the morning and put the club tent up so there's shelter for everybody, and then have to stay till everybody's finished afterwards. So I don't know, have you thawed out yet, Dave?
No.
No, okay. Thank you to them. Paul and Laura Shaw, who made certain that we all had lunch by collecting the sandwiches from Sainsbury's in Chester, and all the other parents who helped out on the day. I was also asked to give special thanks to Ken, who added to the confusion by losing his bag. But the biggest thanks of all really need to go to Paul and Claire Ostrich, who kind of they're like the mother and father of the whole club when they were looking after the youngsters and seeing they don't go astray and encouraging them where they need to and all that. They did an absolutely fantastic job, amazing commitment from them. So well done to them. We could even give them a little clap, I think. So we turn to the athletics, or the cross country itself. We had 68 young athletes competing in the four age groups: under 20, under 17, under 15 and under 13, and I'll go through them in terms of how they finished. So first of all, the under 20 junior ladies were third in the national as a team, and this was the 5th consecutive national cross country in which two members of that team, Hannah Clark and Laura Manners, had actually won a medal. So as they've moved through the age group, they have always won a medal in their age group. So good performance from them. The under 13 girls were 5th, and there was a brilliant individual 10th for Aoife McDonough in that. The under 17 girls were 6th. The under 15 boys were 6th. And there was a brilliant performance from young Joe Skanes, whom I've mentioned before. He came 9th, and that's his first year in the age group. So scope for him to do even better next year. The under 13 boys were 7th. The under 15 girls were 10th. The under 17 boys were 18th. So it was, most of them in the top 10 and all of them in the top 20. The seniors, the ladies team came 7th, which was a good performance. There was a magnificent individual third place for Neve Bridson Hubbard, who ran a really, really great race, and she's on form. She won the University Oxford-Cambridge cross country this year, and we look forward to seeing her on the track during the summer. The men's team came 32nd. If there were 16 men, I think if there'd been a veterans prize, we would have been well off, because most of them were towards the, shall we say, 40-year plus, but so they all ran well. So anyway, it was a great weekend, if somewhat chilly. There were a few other things going on at the weekend, including the Birmingham World Indoor Tour final, and there, of course, we had both Dina and Adam running. Dina managed to win her 60-metre and break the national and club record. Well, she broke the record in the heat, but she She beat Daryl Neater to close finish in the final, so well done, Dina. And Adam Jamili was second in the men's 60 metres with a season's best, so he's obviously hopefully coming into form as well. So club records in the last week, obviously Dina's I've just mentioned, and over in America, Marcia Say in Geneva, Ohio, took the club record for the under 23 60 metre hurdles with a time of 8.10 seconds. So that was moving on to the park run. So we had 48 runners at 18 locations this last weekend, and I noticed that Jess Keane, who ran in the Nationals, stopped on the way up at Trenton, which is in Stoke, and ran the park run there. Now, I thought, is that really wise before you take part in the national cross country? But then I noticed that her time was about 10 minutes slower than usual, and actually she ran round with her dad because they both finished together. So I guess it was just a gentle jog for her. Darren Conai won at Bexley this week. Jenny Butler was second at Bethlehem. Were you there, Terry? Do you see that? Yeah. Katie Sugden was seventh at Bromley. Now Bromley, we didn't have anyone in the top 10, or we did just. Paul was in the top 10. Paul, you're still here? Yeah. And but we had good grouping there because Clayton wasn't far behind you, and then Steve Evenden and Dave Adams. So yeah, good to see you guys running together. Getting back to a somewhat tedious subject, John Isaacs ran at Old Deer Park, where unsurprisingly he broke the over 80s record by over a minute. So that's that. So just looking ahead, we've got in a week on Sunday, we've got the Ranelagh mob match over at Richmond. During my time as president, we have not won a mob match, although if I'd made a slightly different decision on the number of runners that counted in one, we might have done, but that's such is life. So it'd be good to get a good crowd out there, try and get a few people over there if we can. And then on the 18th of March, we got the closing 5, which is from here at 2:30. The Ranelagh match, by the way, is a 11 o'clock start. Okay. Now, before I go on to the bonus ball, I just want to mention that I mentioned last week about the mugs that Mark Ellison was doing, and the design of the mugs is based on a picture which Mark is presenting to the club, and he's just brought it along this evening, so you can see it's a nice sort of slightly abstract version of the club colours, and we'll find somewhere suitable to put that up. Mark, are you still here? Oh, sorry, right in front of me. Right, thank you very much. Yeah, much appreciated. Right, bonus ball, Terry.
Oh, yes. The week before, or a couple of weeks ago, the winner then was Sue Clooney, who's here tonight.
Right.
And last week's was it last week? Yeah. John Taylor.
Yeah. So that's great. Anybody else got any news they want to raise? It's great to see so many people here tonight, and see you all enjoying yourselves, and more of the same next week. Thank you very much. Good night.
We found this on the floor. I don't know if anybody's...
Damien.
Okay.